It's recording. Say hi, everyone.
Alright, so these are some questions that we got from Instagram, so I'm going to give shout out to these people as I read out their question. First question, was from Kudzo, and her question was, how did growing up as an African out of home affect your self-image? For those that don't know, we were actually born in Australia. Yes. Basically, out of home would, for her, I think she means out of Africa. How would you guys answer that?
So did I'm with my parents for
I'm still at home.
Personally, growing up here, everything is just what it is.
Right, yes. You don't really have a comparison.
You don't have anything, you don't know anything better, you don't know anything worse.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like your parents will tell you about the stuff that you've heard before, and you can either adjust or go against it. It depends on you and the type of person you are and the type of upbringing.
So how was it for you?
I feel like me personally, I was very adaptable. At first, I was very against everything. I was just trying to find my own way to being like, nah, this is what I am. If you don't like it, blah, 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 blah. And to be fair, if I'm being honest with you, those weren't the best years of my life. And like, I get like, just the start, like
primary school?
Kindergarten, primary school, that's when like, you know, I was fighting a lot with people.
Right, that's true.
That's when, no, for real, that's when I was getting detentions, you know, getting kicked out of classes or getting suspended and stuff like that. And, you know, it wasn't a good place to be. But then, you know, I reached a point where it was just like, because we basically grew up in an area where it wasn't very diverse at the start of when we grew up.
Like we were the only Africans.
We were in Balladura. Everyone knows Balladura. Everyone knows Balladura is mixed. But when at the time we were here, especially North Balladura, South Balladura is where a lot of the migrants were, you know, the homes were put and stuff like that. But North Balladura, on the other hand, was just Asians and white people. That's what it was. We were literally the only black people in our school. And, you know, obviously for the people themselves, for us it was different, but then also for them it was different. It's like, oh my God, what does your hair feel like? Oh my God, how long did it take you to get your hair like that? I'm like, what type of question is that? I think at the start I was very self-conscious of myself. You know, my wide nose, my big bum, big bottom, the darkness of my skin. And like, I remember I used to have these moments where I'd walk past the window and I'd turn and look at the window and I'd be like, wow, I'm actually really black. And then afterwards, like, you know, I just kept looking up because like I'd even forgotten. It didn't faze me what color I was. It's just like, these are the people I hang out with. Because like I'd already gone through that already. And now it's just like I'm just adjusting to the area that was around me because, you know, you're at school almost more than you're with your family. But self-image wise, at first it was a bit of a conflicting thing.
I think it affected me more when I met up with other Africans when I was young. Because at school, I felt normal. Well, like maybe because now there was a bit more Africans when I was in school. There was like 5. But
Still a little bit more.
It wasn't like I was like an alien kind of thing. If I was excluded, it wasn't because of my skin, it was more like, oh, you're fat. You know, like with little kids making stuff like that. So it was more like body image rather than racism. But then when I would go to like the African churches or whatever and have to be in Sunday school, it was really sad because I couldn't understand anything. We were from different countries anyway, but kids still made me feel like, why don't you understand the language? I'm not even from where you're from. But you feel like, why don't I understand the language? You know? That was the only thing. Like other people made me feel bad about it instead of myself.
For me, I would say that it did affect my self-image. I had no self-love whatsoever, and I didn't even realize that until I was like 18. Can you imagine going through primary school and high school and then only realizing after you graduate that you didn't actually love yourself? Like, that's a long time. I remember I'd always compare compare myself to like the other kids, and I'll be like, I'll be like, oh, my friends, like people crush on them, but like no one likes me, you know. And you go through that whole everyone holding your hand like this, and you know, those kind of things. So it did affect my self-image. I used to wish that I was lighter. Like I was that girl that goes to the beach wearing a jumper, like a sweater. People are like, why are you wearing a sweater? I'm like, I don't want to get any darker. It's actually sad to think that I didn't enjoy that experience because I was trying to make sure I maintained my, you know, skin tone. What Solomon said was really good. Like growing up, I never thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm a black person. Like I just thought I'm another kid going to school. Yes. I only realized how black I was because everyone kept saying it to me. All right, this one is from Bakia. Shout out to Bakia. And she said, was there a difference for each one of you culturally growing up? So family, school, society.
I think my mental approach that I chose was very different to the way that these guys saw things. Because I definitely reached a point of empathy a lot earlier than the rest of them did, I feel. Because I literally reached a point. For me, the big turning point was in year 3. They said, if anyone wants to be a student counsellor, you're not allowed to get into fights, you're not allowed to get into trouble and stuff. Right. And for me, for some reason, being a student counsellor became my peak. It was a goal that was set and I wanted that. I wanted to be a student counsellor, so like I stopped fighting people. Like, if people said stuff to me, I'd just be like, ha ha ha, and I'd go about my business. Right. And look, when I hit year 6, I go walk down the halls. I was the first African student counsellor. You know what I'm saying? I did that, because I put my pride aside, and it was just like, everyone's different. That's the thing, and that's another thing that I keep constantly telling people, having to let them know, look, the way you talk to me, don't think you can talk to every person like that. Because everyone is different, everyone's experience, they're different. So if I go to use empathy, the least you could do is try and do the same. Right. That's the least, you know what I mean? Because I've sacrificed a lot for people just to enjoy the environment they're in. Trust me, I've heard some nonsense in my time. But it's just like, you know what? What's worse, or what is more what's more beneficial to us? You know, us being able to have a civil conversation, or me letting you know you make me feel uncomfortable every time you open your mouth. Right, you know what I mean? But then we can come to an understanding, it's like, you know what, I shouldn't talk to you like that after a while. And I'm like, I appreciate that. Now let's have a proper conversation.
So in my school community and stuff, I made myself feel accepted because I accepted myself. If people said something to me about my skin, I was like, I don't need to be friends with you. Like, you know? And I think that's why I don't feel the need to talk to people if I'm not trying to be your friend. Because I'm like, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, I know there's no point in me trying to force you to accept me if I've already accepted myself. Like, I can't change the way you feel about me or whatever. And that's probably why, to be honest, in the community, I don't like to greet people.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot harder to be accepted within the community than outside.
Yes. Because like getting the questions like, where are you from? Like when you meet people in the street, I think I talked about this before. Like when you meet people in the street, like, where are you from? And I'm like, from Uganda. And they're like, oh my gosh, how long have you been here for? And I was like, I was born here. And they're like, well, you're not really Ugandan then. Like,
it's a common thing.
It's a common thing people always say to me, you're not really Ugandan. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not really Ugandan? So like being ostracized in the community because you were born in Australia, like people say that you're not African enough, or even white people say you're not Australian enough, and then you go through that identity crisis because you're like, well then what am I? I think it's important to acknowledge both cultures, you know what I mean? Like, and the fact that you have
accepting both within yourself,
and that you have an identity that's like a mesh of two.
Yeah, the combination. Because I think that's also another thing that really struck me was I didn't mind if people were being like, oh, well then you're not Ugandan, you're Australian, but it wasn't consistent. Someone's like, you come up and tell me, oh, you were born here. Oh, well, you're not really Ugandan, you're Australian. Then you do something and they're like, man, you Ugandans are weird. And it's like, well, who am I? Like,
and that's why it comes back to what Deborah said, accepting yourself first, because other people will never accept you.
They'll never be consistent.
Some people say you're not an Australian, some people say you're not an African, but as long as you know who you are, and you know where you come from, you know your heritage, you know where you're going.
Where you're going, that's you by yourself, man. Where you've been, it's been tainted, it's been affected. And you can't control that. But where you're going, man.
True. That's very important.
I think I've forgotten where I've been, you know? That's why I can't really remember much of the racism or anything. Because it's just so far back. I feel like reminiscing on it is just energy. If I've already moved on and I've combated whatever I went through then, there's no point in me remembering. I think that's why I can't remember it.
I also think you do have to acknowledge it.
It's there, but I can't remember it. That's the thing.
Right.
Like, I'm trying to
But you just...
when was the experience?
Maybe you're suppressing it because it's deep
You
down.
know, that's what I did. I did that growing up. I suppressed it entirely and I acted like it never happened. And then when one bad situation happened in my life, I was like, oh my gosh, why am I this way? And then I remembered, oh my gosh, because when I was younger, people used to bully me and I didn't love myself. This is why I do what I do now, and I'm 18 years old and I'm carrying this stuff, you know, because I didn't deal with it.
We had one teacher who, whenever we experienced like racism or anything, went to her, and she'd be like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words never hurt me. And it was such a lie. The thing is, people can beat you up, but you can heal from that. But like, we stick to words more than anything. Why do we have mantras? Why do we have speeches? You know, if they didn't mean anything, we wouldn't be talking.
We
like
use eulogies at funerals.
Nothing would matter. I was watching an episode of How I Met Your Mother, and they were talking about like last words. Like before someone dies, and to be honest, everyone holds on to what's the last thing someone said to me.
Yeah, you're right. Your words actually mean so much, and so that's when I learned to realize, like, life and death is in the power of the tongue. So if you're actually going to open your mouth and ask someone a question, I guess this is also like an informative video. That makes sense. Yeah, to like just kind of inform people, like, you know, if you're going to say something or ask a question, you can have good intentions, and that's absolutely fine. Yeah. But your delivery is just as important as your intention. This is from my friend Jennings. He said, did you guys face any racism as you were growing up?
Yes. And you always face it. But I feel like as people, we need to be better people ourselves. Because I feel like racism only happens because you yourself are not comfortable with you. Like, I know that could sound like very...
very Kanye Westy.
I mean, like we were talking about before, being confident and loving yourself is such a beautiful thing. And you know what, knowing yourself is more beautiful than anything. Especially these past few years, I've taken the time to try and understand why I do the things I do. And it's the littlest things, like why I love fish and chips. You know what I realized? I don't even like the taste of fish and chips. I love the nostalgia that comes with it. Like every Friday, my mum used to make fish and chips with her hands herself, and then we used to all sit down at TV, and it's just the thing, whenever I say fish and chip,
you're right.
Yeah, those things, like knowing that stuff about yourself,
so important.
It makes you so confident, just at peace with yourself, like knowing it, and it can be the littlest things, or why do I use my right hand only, or why do I use my left hand, or like
or why does that song make me happy?
Why do I enjoy doing these things? Finding out this stuff, or even learning new stuff. Like, I implore everybody to take the time to literally, because trust me, you think you know you just because you see yourself every day, but you have no idea. Like, you're such an in-depth being. Even asking your parents about themselves,
so important.
And knowing why they act, the way that they act, and then knowing that the way that they treated themselves is the same way that they treated you, that you become the person you become. It's such an eye-opening experience. Then coming back to the racism point, this stuff will not affect you as much as it does now, when you are so headstrong in your being. For example, right, one time I was at work, and I'm the only black guy who works at my work. Like, that's just how it is. One of the girls that was like to somebody, oh yes, if you just head over to the gentleman over there, I'm the dark skinned gentleman over there who will help you. And the lady came up to me and was like, you know, she referred to you as any dark skinned gentleman. Are you okay with that? And I was like, look, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm the only one here. And like everyone's wearing the same uniform. It's the easiest way. It's alright. Don't stress about it. And even the girl felt bad because she said it just off her mind. I wasn't gonna go up to her and be like, bro, you need to have some respect. Learn how to speak. Look, it was the easiest way to struggle at the time, but we discussed it and we found a better method for her to use. You know? Instead of popping off me, I could have been like, if I wasn't as strong in myself but understanding of other people's situations, I could just burn off and be like, you're a racist, this company doesn't understand, I hate this place. But instead, you know, just take a breather. Think with logic before you think with your emotions. Because your emotions are tripping, fam. That's the caption. Your emotions are tripping, fam.
I can really agree to that, because I think, as I said before, now that I accept myself, it doesn't really matter what people say. Like, and I used to think, like, how can someone say that just because you like yourself? How does that change how you feel about what other people say? But really, like, it's really bad. But nowadays, if someone like tries to attack me, like, I just think, to be honest, the fact that you want to come for me in that way, like, you're trash. like if you're gonna say something racist, I don't feel attacked by it anymore. Cause I'm like, look, that's you. Like at this point,
that says more about you then.
Yeah, at this point, I don't care. If you're gonna come for my skin, that's on you. If you're gonna come for the way I look, that's on you. Like, let's talk about my personality towards you or something. Like something better. Have you no other, like, you know?
Right.
Have you nothing else to really come for me, but you come for my skin?
I'll give you a plain, simple example.
Yeah.
This is a blue shoe. This shoe is blue. Remember that. Is the shoe blue?
No, it's not.
Do you need to be convinced that it's blue?
No.
Look at this. You know what color it is. Like,
yeah, that's a good point.
that's it. Like nothing else matters. And I was like, fair enough. That's what you're saying to me.
Right.
I was like, okay, fine. But I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
It's not a blue shoe. It's a yellow shoe.
Right.
You can go about your life like, if that's what makes
Yes.
you happy thinking it's blue, babes. Go be free.
So
But I know what it looks like, and I'm very aware. Right, it's fine. Like you're not affected by it, and you shouldn't hold grudges on these people because that's what they understand. And fine, be about that. But just try and take the time to be like, now why does this guy think the shoe is blue?
Right.
Like there's obviously something going on in his life.
So
Yeah.
Like
True.
he has more of an issue than you have. Because
Right.
I can talk to you and be like, what color is this?
Yellow.
What color is this?
Yellow.
You both know it's yellow. So it's like, why are we going to have a debate about it?
Right. Yeah.
He's the one with the issue. He's the one who has something that needs to be
The
sorted
shoe
out.
ain't the problem.
It's you.
Like our skin color is not the problem, you know, and that goes for any race. Like
That's it.
Yeah, any race.
You are not the problem in the situation.
Yeah.
So don't ever, and that's the thing, when you start to question that, that's when all the anger and all the
Right.
it's like, maybe I am this shit. Then it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
What did I do?
well, if I'm the problem, what's the
Yeah.
But you know what? Hey,
It's true.
find out about yourself. Understand,
Right.
even knowing that the reason your skin is this color is because of the
Right.
melanin
Yeah.
cells within your body.
Right.
Because of the area that you're from.
Yeah.
Like knowing that situation, that can set you up so much more. Knowledge is power, fam.
Yeah.
Now that we've talked about a lot of serious stuff, which I really appreciate, and thank you guys for opening up. Can we talk about some great memories or great things that we've experienced
Oh, I love
from
that.
growing
That's
up in
good.
Australia?
That's good.
I have loved being in Australia and experiencing the togetherness and the sportsmanship. That's always my favourite thing.
Mate.
Like, I love when I go to the shop and like someone bumps into it and they're like, oh sorry mate, you know, just things that's like, you just feel like, you know what, like, you're when people are like, you're in love, and it's like, I don't even know you,
But
and
I
I
feel
feel so
loved.
loved. Yeah. Going to the cricket and seeing like just everyone being so into it and like seeing everyone together when like something good happens, everyone's talking to you about, even if like you have no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
But they'll still go, oh, just say that, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. How you going today? Like, you know, and just keeping that going and just the togetherness. I really like that.
Yeah. Even though you've gone through like racism and whatnot, there are some people that you meet and you're like, literally my faith in humanity has been restored too many times. Like as you say, you go to the shop, my favourite thing is when people say, you're right, love. And I'm like, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm right.
You're right. We're all right. You know what I mean? Like we're all right.
After traveling and then coming back to Australia and just walking through customs, you're just like, wow. Yeah. Like you feel at home.
You walk up to them and be like, thank you.
Yeah.
I love the diversity the most.
True.
Because I feel like for me, it's like being able to read. It's like being in a library and having so much options of learning so many different cultures, so many different experiences. You know, instead of just getting one perspective. Because like, look, if we were born in Africa, we would have one mindset.
Right.
Because it's not as diverse. You know, especially if we were born in the village. The understanding of them, because you know, like you can even see it with the older generations.
Right.
The way that they might say things, the way they might talk about things, and even like, you know, even here, like you can say, like sometimes people who aren't as understanding with cultures, for example, non-ethnic people, they might say something and you're like, right, what the hell? But that's how they grew up. But the fact that we're here now to give them out stories, give them out experience, and they can then give their experiences to us, and you know, Asian people, Indian people.
That's a really good point that you've made though, about Africa not being diverse. I never thought about that because I thought being diverse meant you were from different nationality. But if you think about it, when white people go to Africa, sometimes Africans can be like, can I take a photo with you?
Yeah,
And the sad thing is,
the same
way
stuff
we're
we go
treated
through
here.
here.
True, this happens all around the world. Yes, obviously our experiences are not the only ones. Like, if you guys have ever faced things that we've kind of talked about today, put them in the comments, share your experiences with us. It would be really nice to hear from you guys. And also, you're saying like to be able to learn from other people, I would actually say like that is one of the best things.
It's the greatest thing ever.
The multiculturalism is just amazing. The type of restaurants you can go to, the type of people you meet at university.
I eat with chopsticks.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I eat with chopsticks. Do you understand how crazy that is?
I can't even eat with chopsticks, so that's amazing.
I just love Asian food, period.
I love mashed potatoes.
I love pasta
Do you know
so
what?
much.
Oh, yeah. When I was younger, I used to regret being born in Australia. Why did my parents like have to give birth to us here? I just feel so left out. Because of all the comments people say, you know, real African. But now as I'm older, I'm actually so thankful. I'm like, wow, I actually thank God that my parents came to Australia and that they gave birth to us here, because we literally have experienced the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Literally, because we grew up in an African household, and then you go out to school and you're in like a how do you even explain it? We're literally multicultural. So like it may not have been like that when we were younger, but as we grew up, you experience different cultures. You go out with your friends and your friends say, hey, try this food my mom made. And you're like, this is so nice. You know what I mean? And then you go, then you bring them back home and they're like, I love the chapatis. Or like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everyone just gets to experience so much different. We're more open to different people. Like, you know what I mean? We understand, or we have more empathy towards others, because I guess we've been through things, so we're like, I can relate to you, like, but also I don't know that side. Can you explain to me what it was like for you? Then you learn. So it is really amazing, and we definitely are blessed. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Did you guys have anything you wanted to say, or any word of encouragement, I guess, to your younger self, or anybody who may be able to relate to some of the stuff you have said?
When people do say stuff like, well, if you're getting bullied, then something's wrong. It's not always you, like there's a reason why people are saying that. I feel like when I was younger, I used to be like, that's not true. They just attack me because they always have something to say about me. And I guess the more you grow up, you realise everyone's actually going through stuff, and everyone's got a problem. And I really realised that in high school when like anxiety and depression became a big thing. And I think I was really like, that doesn't exist, because I was like, well, people always bully me, and there's nothing with them, they're just bullying me because I have a problem, maybe. But then seeing that actually everyone has an issue, and then me actually realising, whoa, like, people have problems too. Then just realising, I've just got to work on myself, because, like, you can only inspire people if you are okay.
True,
so
you can't inspire people if you're just like them.
Yeah. So, you know, really work on yourself. It's amazing when you get to like nobody. Now I love people ask me questions about myself, because I can answer it.
You truly can.
Keep asking the simple questions. Like, I know people get annoyed when they ask, oh, how does your hair get curly, or how does this? And we're like, that's so stupid, why would you ask that? But if it helps you understand, and then you can then figure out not to, keep doing it. Like, if somebody asking me why my skin's so bad is the worst thing I get asked for the rest of my life, honestly, hey, that's going up in the world. Trust. I would much prefer somebody ask me why my skin is like something than telling me why my skin is like something. The simple, ignorant questions. Keep asking them. Ask people, do you get offended? Just keep asking. Find out, learn, take the time. Like, it's awkward at first, but it will save everybody, and I feel like everybody will then start to unify, because all this simple stuff will become a norm and get out of the way, you know.
And you telling that one person, they'll go out and tell all the other friends.
Like,
Actually ask. And like,
you shouldn't ask.
People don't actually like it when you ask, and they're like, oh wow, I didn't know that. Okay, I'll stop asking.
And for the ethnics, I guess finding a way to respond without sounding angry. Like, because sometimes people are like genuinely trying to, and they don't know how to word it properly. And not to look at them and be like, oh, you poor child.
Ignorance is bliss, fam.
But to just say to them, you know what, like, to be honest, I don't really feel comfortable saying that, and maybe you wouldn't feel comfortable if you said that. So like, just tell them, for next time, maybe you could say it like this or like that. Like, be open to helping someone else learn.
And I think that's really a big thing I would also say. When I stopped being offended, I started to listen more and realize that, wow, this person isn't actually like trying to be rude to me, like they genuinely want to know how my hair got like that, you know, like, and I'm like, okay, well, I literally just tied it up in a puff, and you know, I did some bantu twist the night before, and this is how I got, you know what I mean? So sometimes they don't know, and so like, you're right, I was the type of person who took things personally all the time, constantly felt like, you're attacking me, and so I had this guard where I was constantly like, you come already, you know what I mean? But it's like, you can't live like that forever. You push people away and they're not even trying to hurt you. So then when you realize, okay, they're not trying to offend me, they're not even trying to be rude, they just want to know, then you're like, you know what? And also, from knowing stuff about yourself, you're able to answer those questions without being
with
offended.
confidence.
How did your hair get like that? Well, you know what? I use leave-in conditioner. I use some eco styling gel. This is where I get it from.
Oh, this is a wig?
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Now, to be honest, now I'm like, look, yes.
You're really
I
confident
went
with
with
the wigs. Yeah, you're really confident with the
because
wigs.
you know what? There came a point where I used to be, oh my god, like,
Can they tell?
But you know, it got to that point where, look, my friends like to me, like, if you're really worried about it, no one has shiny hair, like hair that shiny anyway. So they're gonna know it's not real because you don't have hair like that. And even if I was to straighten my real hair, if the rain came, it would, you know. So you just gotta, like, you know what, this is a wig. You can probably see when it's not sitting right, you know. And when people ask me, is that, I mean, I used to be like, I want it, it's mine. But now I'm like, no, it's not. It's a wig.
It's so important. Be confident in yourself. And that's not an overnight thing, and that's okay.
Nah, it's not.
It doesn't have to be an overnight.
It's really not.
Yeah. It's years. You know, like
It's
years
more,
and
it's more than years.
yeah.
I'm still trying to come to terms with a lot of stuff. I'm just very slow to anger. But like, trust me, it's a long process.
Give yourself time to understand yourself, and also give yourself time to answer those questions. You don't feel like you have to have an answer when someone says, where you come from and why you, like, it's alright, just stand there, take a step back, as my mom always says, reflect.
And always
evaluate.
Also remember, I don't know is the real answer.
Yeah.
It's fine, like that's cool, just go find out. Like do yourself the favor and go find out.
Tell the truth, guys, take time to learn about yourself, be confident in yourself. It's not an overnight thing, but it's okay.
Can I do one more thing?
Yeah, go for it.
Also, Miss Africa Perth over here is doing a fundraiser. 6K for the 6K.
Yes.
The link will be in the description below.
Yes.
But do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
And support the 6.
Right.
Support the next gen.
Yeah.
And you know what? As a new high school graduate, I reflect this money isn't just going to nowhere. If y'all have been through school, you can see how people have been affected by ATAR itself. Like, I mean, your depression gets here because you have to literally learn to prioritize what you want more. And if it's not to, you know, have the best social life, but to get somewhere in life, you're gonna have to sacrifice something.
Yeah, tell them what it gives to the kids.
So basically, guys, I started the Miss Africa Perth tutoring scholarships to help people who are doing ATAR subjects because I understand the stress of it and it is just crazy. And for anybody that's trying to get into uni or has a goal to reach somewhere better for themselves, I wanted to support them because I know how tough it is. So I'm trying to raise $6,000 by March 2019 to provide 20 scholarships in partnership with the Academic Associates to help 20 West Australian high school students. So if you believe...
And that's anyone.
Anybody, yeah.
Whatever complexion, whatever denomination.
Just help.
You want to learn? Miss Africa Perth 2018 cares for you.
Yes, legit. Everybody needs support. Some people have dreams and because of their grades, people don't believe in them. And I'm like, you can actually still do great things. And so it's one thing for me to say that, this is me actually doing it. Yeah.
And you're proud of it too?
You are.
6K for the 6K?
That's it. And basically 6K for the people that don't know.
Shout out OG Greed Vanda. 6K is the city, Perth, because 6,000 is our postcode. 6K.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining me in this video. Love you guys so much. Love you, Debbie.
You back first?
I've been Deborah, and you've been lovely.
I've been Gladys, and thanks for watching Temples.
I'm Super Sauce, and this is Temples.
Like literally, it has taught me so much about what I'm created to do. But if I had not pursued that, I pretty much, look, if I had not started serving in kids when I started doing it, although I just thought it was like a temporary thing, I learned so many leadership skills. It's literally the reason I ended up, you know, at Bible college and now working as a chaplain. Like, it has actually added so much more value to my life, but it has opened more doors than I could even imagine. Like, it has literally opened so many doors because I said yes to serving others.